Hey, before we get to today's video, I just want to give a shout out to my newest patron, Cam Bish, who today signed up to become a Jade patron by pledging $1 or more a month. That's how affordable it is to become a patron. If you'd like to see your name here, just go to the Patreon page in the description.
And I try to crack this iceberg open till it shatters through the ocean. I wanna make shockwaves. I wanna make shockwaves with you. Gonna move the ocean current.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, and other farm animals, this is Arenia here with episode 3 of Kerbal Space Chronicles, and you notice we're starting in the vehicle assembly building today. I have actually figured out what's wrong with Project Atlanta. This rocket used to be able to fly just as it is. However, now, with updates to mods, I actually have to put fins on it. So we're just going to put some fins on the first stage, and some smaller fins on the second stage, and then this thing is going to fly like a dart. So there we go. The problem is we now have to take a part out of the science modules, but we'll take out that sample box, and we're back to 30. So this is Project Atlanta Mark II. We're going to build it, and we're going to fly this thing into orbit, so help me. We'll be right back. And we're back on the launch pad with Project Atlanta Mark II. It's finally time to get this thing flying. I don't even need the smart ASS. I could use it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to show you that I can get this thing into orbit just with the fins, and this is going to go very, very well for me. So let's just go ahead and hit it. Go! We get these 3 solid rocket boosters just giving us the early kick out of launch, and then after that it'll be entirely up to the Chrysalis engine at the bottom of this stage. And hibernation is on. I gotta remember to turn that off. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to control this thing. Solids are out. There they go. It's fighting me a little, but you notice how it's not just swirling around like it used to. Very carefully moving it down. I don't care what angle really the orbit's in, but I do care that it holds its course relatively well. I'm also using a slightly steeper trajectory. It doesn't shallow out as quickly as it did before. And I think that will solve the burning up problem that we saw. I'm getting ahead of the curve here. I need to put those in the same stage, by the way, because even though it'll make things explode, I'd much rather have things on the first stage explode than have the second stage be without any control for too long. Also, you notice the terrain is probably looking a little bit worse than it used to. I had to remove stock visual terrain because I was playing my personal game to sort of test some stuff out. I have another game that I play of the same difficulty settings and everything, and once you get near the moon, it's virtually unplayable. So we couldn't have that, otherwise I'd be struggling to tell you guys commentary for half an hour for a 5-minute landing. That would just not end very well for any party involved. Okay, and we are at 10 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and just leave it here. Notice the control surfaces are starting to heat up. We're going to lose that stage in just a moment. Go, and there goes the fairing. Now we're underway, and we're not flailing about like we used to either. We've got a long burn into orbit, so I think I actually need to pitch up just a little. No, that's still not doing it very well. My time to apoapse is still dropping pretty quickly. Let's go all the way to 30. No. Easy there. Whoa. Like I said, I'm not too particularly worried about the inclination, because we're just trying to get into orbit. That roll, though, is getting concerning. See how much easier it is to control? Amazing what just a little bit of aerodynamic trickery will do for you. I need to hike this thing into orbit before it starts burning up, but it looks like we are starting to gain altitude and our time to apoapse is rising. All good signs, all good signs. We're actually above where we exploded in the last video. We're up to 73 kilometers now. We were at like 69 or 70 when the first version blew up. So we're in a lot better condition now. Go ahead and pitch over just a little. Down to 15 degrees. Just keep it steady. Alright, apoapse is now 80 kilometers. We need to get above 110. 110 is the outer edge of the atmosphere in this scaled mod pack. Gone down to 10 degrees now. Just to make things a little bit more bearable for you guys, I'm going to go into 2 times time acceleration on the physical time accelerations. That way we can continue to observe. Okay, I think I can go all the way to the horizon now. Oh, whoa. I'm still deflecting around a little, but I think that's because the rocket is slightly off balance. You see there's a little bit of a thrust offset angle. But in general, I'm just hanging out right in the middle there, and we get music! Which means we're getting pretty close to space, because it actually started a little early. And camera goes nuts. I'm going to put on a little bit more altitude, go to 145, actually, 152. And then we're just going to time accelerate using my new hyper time acceleration settings. We're going to go into 10 times physics warp. And that'll kick us right out of the atmosphere. And hey, we're actually in space, and that little burbly noise means that we have science to transmit. Now this thing does not have any solar panels, so I'm not sure how much of it we're actually going to get back. But I'm going to transmit the smallest, or the least data size first, and that would be the magnetometer scan. Oh, we should get it all back. I forgot how little electricity this antenna uses. We should get all of it back, or if not most of it back. Transmit. we also have that burn into orbit that should give us a little bit more power. But hey, we have a spacecraft in orbit. And since we are just doing that, I am going to go ahead and drop us into physical time acceleration, because that'll allow the science to finish a lot quicker. Yeah, it's done! Done. Just make sure it's all done. I'm also going to extend that antenna. Transmit? Done! Yes. And time accelerate forward now at 100 times. This is the on-rails time acceleration, so we're not currently applying physics. Burbly noise, because we're passing over biomes and the Geiger counter can actually get more science here. In fact, I think that's what it is. Yeah, that's the Geiger counter, alright. Just get back to the... we passed back into the grasslands before I got it. Oops. Okay. Burbly. And we got the Highlands. There we go. Now we're just going to burn this thing till it runs out of fuel. I want to see how high we can kick this rocket up. Burn! Looks like we'll be able to kick it quite a ways. Hell, if I'd planned ahead, I could probably take this thing most of the way to the moon. I didn't quite have enough delta V to get all the way to the moon. That takes about 1,700 in this pack. But I could definitely get most of the way there. Either way, we are going to make high orbit. We'll get that science. And we'll get another burbly noise. Transmit data. Bring out your science. Oh yeah, we pick up a lot of energy from that burn. Looks like, yeah, we're going to make 10,000 kilometers. We're getting kicked around now by that thrust offset, but there we go. 15,000 kilometers is our final orbit. Now I'm just going to time accelerate a lot and kick us into high orbit, do the science, keep all that data, and then transmit it through the antenna. It can transmit through the probe, but the probe's antenna will use a lot more power, so I'd much rather transmit it through the forward antenna, because that uses almost no power for its transmission capacity. And that's very useful on a spacecraft that has a very small battery and no solar panels, because we haven't developed them yet. But hey, we're in orbit, so now back to the Space Center. Okay, we are back at the Space Center. We picked up some cool funds. We've now got about $436 million. Need more money to upgrade that. I can upgrade that, though, but what I want to take a look at is my parts, because I think I have enough, to unlock another layer here. Flight control, definitely an option. Just looking around here. General construction, do I want that? Or do I want enhanced survivability? No, I think I want flight control. Yeah, let's go with flight control. And can we purchase these parts yet? Not quite. I can definitely purchase more of them if I need, but I cannot purchase all of them yet. Oop, creaky desk. Sorry. I should, however, be able to get the parts for the Prometheus 1, which will enable me greater rocket power. But we're also going to go ahead and purchase these stability parts, because it's going to give me more fins, more and better fins. So we're going to go ahead and purchase the rest of these parts. And then these basic science parts, and that'll leave us about $116 million. And it gets us a whole slew of extra science from around the Kerbal Space Center. So we're going to go ahead and unlock general construction and enhance survivability. There we go. Now, I did say that I was going to unlock all the nodes in order. I don't have to purchase them in order, but I do have to research them in order. So that's that done. And I can also, I just noticed, purchase some advanced rocketry too, so I might skip the Prometheus 1 and go straight to the 2, but that depends on how much money the 2's parts cost. That's going to be in another episode though, so in the meantime, stay tuned for the outro. Here's just one of the patrons helping to make this content possible. If you want to see your name here, pledge at least $10 on my Patreon page. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, subscribe, or join us on our Discord and Facebook communities. If you really want to support the creative journey, either buy me a coffee for a one-time donation, or become a patron. Links to both pages are also in the description. In the meantime, this is Arinia, signing off. Take care.